Is that the entrance you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. Hey guys, it's me, Noelle, and you're watching Noelle the Curious One.
I'm so curious.
Alright, today we are still talking about amazing woman in science, but to be specific, we are talking about that was gonna be perfect.
What happened other than you saying Pacific instead of specific? You want to try it again?
Today we're gonna keep talking about women in science, but to be specific.
Say specific.
Specific.
Okay.
So today we're going to be talking about more amazing women in science, but to be specific. This is gonna take forever because I can't say
It's gonna take forever to edit it too. Let's just specific.
Today we're gonna keep talking about amazing women in science, but to be specific, we are gonna be talking about Emmy Noether.
Hooray!
Emmy Noether is probably one of the best mathematicians of all time, or at least one of the most important. It probably goes Einstein to Emmy Noether. Before we get started, here's a picture of Emmy Noether, and here is a drawing I've done of her. Now, Emmy Noether was born in
1882.
1882. By all reports, she was a pretty happy child. She smiled and laughed all the time. She was born into a family of mathematicians, which I am not one of those. I am very bad at math.
You're not bad at math.
Fun facts.
No, you're not bad at math.
Fun facts.
That's something you tell yourself, but it's not true.
A legacy she was eager to live up to. But there was one problem. Emmy was a girl. And in Germany, it was actually illegal for women to go to college. And it was common for women to not finish high school. But Emmy wasn't having any of that. She audited college classes.
Do you know what that means?
No.
It means when you go to college and take all the classes, you sit in the classes and you do all the work, but you don't get credit for any of it. Is that fair?
She audited classes for 2 years, and finally, they allowed her to officially be a student. Even after she finished school, the university still refused to hire her. It didn't matter that her father was an in-demand lecturer, or if she was just as brilliant or more brilliant than he was. They still would not let her teach, just because she was a woman. So she worked for free. She would lecture her father's classes without pay or title. Around this time, Albert Einstein was blowing the world of theoretical physics right open. He published his right of relativity.
He published his theory of relativity.
He published his theory of relativity. He published his theory of relativity. And it got everyone talking. Emmy Noether did some complex mathematics on her own. She invented abstract
algebra.
Abstract algebra. She came up with a theory that aided Einstein's theory. I'm just now learning my multiplications. I'm just now learning my fours and multiplication.
No, just say I'm just now learning multiplication.
But I'm not. I'm done with the 1s and 2s and 3s. I'm doing fours. I didn't just now start.
All right, fine.
I've just now started my fours in multiplication.
Okay, I'm not trying to take anything away from you. You're memorizing your fours.
So all of Emmy Noether's math goes over my head for now. But from what I've surmised, what does surmised mean?
Like what you figured out, like based on evidence.
Her theory changed the world. Now at the time, a lot of academic discoveries were not being widely shared. There was a lot of tension on a national scale, and countries were worried about information being shared and then used to create weapons against them. Despite all this, one important person did hear about Emmy's theory, Albert Einstein. He thought she was a genius, and of course he was right. And he became a great ally and defender for her. Plus sign, plus sign, plus sign. She was finally able to get a job at Göttingen University. Of course, it didn't pay her. What a scam. She worked for free for 7 years until the university finally decided to get her an official
Position.
Of course, she was severely underpaid. What is the deal? Why is the world that we live in constantly undervaluing the labor of women? It's not just in science either. What? Women are under-recognized, underpaid everywhere. Our emotional labor, our physical labor, our intellectual labor is all taken for granted. It's a bunch of malarkey. What does malarkey mean?
You'd be like, bull crap.
Oh.
But I figured malarkey would be friendlier.
Despite being under-respected and underpaid, Emmy Noether was an extremely popular professor. She even had a group of dedicated students and followers that called themselves the Noether Boys. Yes, boys. Because even with Emmy finally being a professor, there still weren't a lot of women in academia, especially in mathematics. Such a boys' club. But hey, she's finally got a position. She's at least getting a paycheck. And she's well received amongst her students. Amongst her students.
Amongst her scooters.
Great! Except not great. Because this was around the time that the Nazis started to come into power. Now, obviously, if you know your history at all, you know this is pretty much a bad thing for everybody. It's especially bad for Jewish people. And Emmy Noether was Jewish. Bad news bears. The university that she worked so long and hard to get a job at fired her just for being Jewish. But Emmy was used to hurdle, and she took it in stride. She started secretly teaching math in her apartment, including to some students that were associated with the Nazi party. She believed mathematics was mathematics, politics be damned. That's hella brave. But while she was trying to be optimistic, her good friend Albert Einstein growing increasingly worried about her safety. He pulled some strings and was able to get her immigration to the United States. She left Germany just in the nick of time, and she was able to get a job teaching at the Bryn Mawr College. And guess what?
She didn't have to work 7 years for a title.
They just gave her one. And guess what again? They actually paid her right! Finally! But, fortunately, Emmy just can't catch a break, because not long after coming to the United States, she was diagnosed with cancer. And only just a short 18 months later, one of the most important and an under-recognized mathematician in the world, was gone. Think of what she could have done if she just had more time. Think of what she could have done if she could have more support while she was here. She accomplished so much, even though there was so much barriers in the way. If we actually treated people with equity and equality, people can move mountains. Sometimes we just have to get out of their way. You're gonna leave a fun fact that where her ashes were buried.
Do you think that's a fun fact?
Yes.
All right, tell it. Where were her ashes buried?
I don't remember.
They were buried at Bryn Mawr College, where she had that last job that paid her well.
And her ashes, and fun fact, her ashes were buried at Bryn Mawr College.
Are there any other fun facts you want to mention?
No.
Oh, well, when you read about her, you told me that one thing that stuck out to you was that she was fat shamed.
Another hurdle that Emmy faced in her lifetime is that she was consistently fat shamed. A type of discrimination that is surprisingly still prevalent today and not taken seriously. Cut it out, people! Anyway, it's very inspiring, but also kind of sad. That's the story of Emmy Noether.
What did you think of Emmy Noether? The story of Emmy Noether.
I hate cancer.
That's legit.
I also hate coronavirus.
Okay.
Okay, that was Noelle the Curious One. Thanks guys for listening to my story. I still have merch in the Etsy store. You can commission a digital drawing for anything you want for at least $5. And that's one of my favorite things for people to order because I get to make new art. I get to draw or paint things that I might not draw or paint otherwise. Also, I'm going to start making some animated videos. And I'm making some ideas for what I should make my videos about. So if you have any people or topics that you would like me to explain, Facebook page Noelle the Curious One. And let me know. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my website, noellthecuriousone.com. And of course, like this video and subscribe. I get so excited every time I get a new subscriber. Anyway, it was nice talking to you. Goodbye. Oh.